Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and I've got something really exciting for you here. This is the first Japanese tank in the game, the Type 3 Chinukai. It's a great all-rounder, capable of doing everything on the battlefield. If that's what you're looking for in a low-tier medium tank that you're going to be able to train up your crews for the upcoming new Japanese line, then look no further than the Chinukai. So a lot of you guys will see the Japanese crew up in the top left-hand corner. Let's take a quick look through some of the personal data. Here you can see all the different names that you're going to be able to have. I'm sure that quite a few of you will be getting out your anime characters' names for your crew. And here you can see an example of all the different faces that you're going to be able to have on your Japanese crew as well. They really have made the Japanese look and feel very unique. And that's going to be emphasized when we enter the first game and you hear that they have indeed got unique Japanese nationalized voices. So let's take a quick look at the stats of the Chinukai. We can see it's got 480 hit points, which is fairly standard for a medium tank of its tier. It weighs just shy of 22 tons when fully equipped, and its engine power of 240 means that it can shift fairly quickly up to its top speed of 38.8 kilometers an hour. Now its traverse speed is also 38, which means that this can maneuver fairly quickly. And its hull armor is, it's not brilliant. It's got 50 millimeters at the front, 25 at the side, and 20 at the rear. However, its turret armor is 75 at the front, although it does have a rather large cupola on top, 50 at the side and 50 at the rear. Angling the tank, probably like this, is going to be your best bet, maybe slightly more, sort of around this region here, hoping that they're going to maybe shoot your tracks and you can absorb the damage. Now the view range on this tank is 350, which is pretty good. Now the strength of this tank is that it does have a fairly darn punchy gun for a tier 5 medium tank. It fires 12 rounds a minute with 124 millimeters of penetration with its standard ammo, 125 alpha damage with 3.7 accuracy and 2.5 second aim time. When we compare this gun, for example, against the 85 millimeter on the KV-1, we can see that although its rate of fire is the same, its alpha damage is significantly less, although it has slightly more penetration, better accuracy, and much better aim time. Comparing the gun to, for example, the 57mm that's used on the Type T-34, the Chinese Tier 5 medium tank, you can see the rate of fire is significantly less, the penetration is better. The alpha damage is a half better, but considering the rate of fire differences, the overall DPM is significantly worse on the Chinukai compared to the Type T-34, and the accuracy is worse on the Japanese entry tank. So in my opinion, this isn't a fantastic tank. However, let's be honest as to probably why you're interested in this tank, and that's because it is special. It is the first Japanese tank in the game. You're going to be able to train up your crews for the full release of the Japanese tree if that's what you're interested in doing. And also guys, something that you might be interested in, there are inscriptions that you can put on the side of the tank, as you can see here. I can't read this font. However, there is that opportunity for you to make yourself feel that little bit more special and unique. So guys, I hope I've shown you everything that you need to know about the Chinukai. Let's see how this tank performs in some gameplay. So there you go, that might be the first bit of Japanese voice acting that you've heard in World of Tanks. And it's absolutely fantastic that the Chinukai does get unique Japanese voice acting even before, I guess, the Japanese patch, which will probably be 9.0. So immediately you can see the Chinukai. I'm using the... This is not the default paint job, this is one of the camos that you get on the tank. You can see there the wonderful Japanese flag on the side of each turret. You can't help but feeling unique to play this tank for the first time, and I'm sure that's why quite a few of you will probably pick them up on the live server. So we can see here the Chinukai is able to reach its top speed limit towards the high 30s, 40 km an hour. Upslope, well not quite upslope, but along the flat. Now upslope we're reduced to the low 30s, 31 to 34. And that just shows you what kind of engine power you're going to get. Now, I'm being quite aggressive. I'm going to go forwards into this rock location here. I want to set up my binoculars in the rock and hopefully get some initial spots. So we're poaching for that first shot. Unfortunately misses. I pull back thinking that I'm going to get engaged by lots and lots of tanks, and oh god. There is one of the most dangerous tanks at tier 5 in the game. Fortunately, we're able to brutalize him with our rather punchy gun, as you can see. There's another very dangerous tank. We fire clutch, but we take a shot in the Chinukai. That actually damages our engines, so that's quite an interesting shot. Let's take a look, see where that one went. So, right in the middle of the lower plate, as you can see here. Engine damaged. We'll pop round, though, and finish off that tier 5 German tank destroyer. And, wow, okay. Engine got knocked out that time. Let's take a quick look, see if we can see. We'll wait until I pull back behind the bush. Come on, pull back behind the bush. Okay, so that's an interesting shot. Let's take a look at that one from above. That looks like it must have just scraped the lower plate. Wow. Okay, so actually it probably hit the lower plate flush. He's firing up at me, so that's why it looks like a ridiculous penetrating shot. But apparently my engine is there. My engine is here. It looks like the whole of this box at the front of the tank might be the engine. So be careful with that. 2 shots taken. I'm put to half health. My engine has been knocked out and I've had to use my repair kit. So we're looking for shots of opportunity. The Chinukai does not have very good gun depression, but its gun depression is not terrible. It's a rather punchy gun. It's the 75mm is more than enough for tier 5. There we go, more Japanese voice acting. I love it, I really do. I wish I could understand it, but I can't. Well, that's 3 rather soft, easy kills for us in our Chinukai. Fairly standard kind of game, this. So the teams are evenly matched at the moment. Each team has lost 6 tanks. Now we're going to advance into position, hopefully get some shots down onto this Churchill. So I really do like this punchy 75mm. The aim time is just about right, balanced aim time. Nice punchy gun. Rate of fire not too high, allows you to aim a little bit between your shots. And I feel like I've got this drop. I've got the drop on this Chinukai. I did indeed. Now we're going to aim at his Churchill friend. Whoa, I must have hit the... oh yeah, you can see where I hit there, just to pause that. So I aimed badly, I hit the side of his tank, and the angle of this was effectively here, so that's why that one bounced off horribly. Remember that the ammo box on the back of the Churchill 1 is not actually a hitbox. Quite a few people will shoot this making a mistake. But we put our second shell flush into him. Someone finishes him off just before we can poach the kill. Okay, so 1 enemy tank is capping. Hopefully we've got enough forces left to deal with him, and the enemy team is wilting. Let's just fast forward the game a little bit. Here we can see an 82. I shoot at his gun. Fortunately, the accuracy there was not impressive. I go a little bit more forward to be able to get a better shot on him, and now he's aiming at us. Wow, he's firing HE shells at us. No idea what this guy is trying to do. We finally put one in through his mantlet, which is actually a big weak point on this tank, so you can take advantage of that. Oh, bit low. One more. This guy just goes in front of me as we were about to get the kill. Oh well. It's a test server after all, you can't expect too much. Alright then, so let's just take a look at some post-game stats. So we were able to pick up 4 kills doing 1,200 damage. We hit 15 out of our 17 shots, of which 11 penetrated. We took 4 hits, and of those 4 that hit us, they all penetrated. The most interesting of which were the lower plate shots, as you guys saw, knocking my engine to yellow and then taking it out with the second shot. Be very careful with the Chinukai if you're getting shot in your lower plate, and if you're engaging one of these tanks, it looks like that's a very successful place to shoot the enemy to be able to disable them. As I said when I was looking over the stats of this tank, this really is just an all-rounder. There's really nothing overwhelming about this tank, but there's also nothing underwhelming. I'd say the only really bad thing about this tank is that its armor does feel pretty trash. You really have to make good use of your turret if you want to remain healthy in the fight. So with this release of the Chinukai, it seems to be creating a pattern with Wargaming's developments. Whenever they're going to release a new branch, they'll release a premium tank of that new nation, one patch before the final release. Now there's 2 ways of looking at this. One is saying, great, Wargaming are giving us something really cool and special that we can use for a whole patch before it happens. That's really awesome. And the pessimistic and skeptical people will be saying, Wargaming want us to buy this tank so we can farm a crappy tank to get great skill crews before the patch happens. Now, I don't think that any one argument is right. I think that it's pretty awesome to have the first Japanese tank in the game, and I'm really impressed by the voice acting. I really do feel unique while I'm playing this tank. I love the fact that I showed you the emblems that you can get on the side of this tank, and you can customize it. And if you've been waiting ages to play the Japanese tanks, or maybe you've just got a keen military interest in them, then this might be the tank for you, and it's not going to cost the world, let's be honest, as this is a tier 5 tank. However, the skeptical people among you who want to play this game competitively and want to have the edge and the advantage when the new Japanese tanks come out will have to be playing this rather underwhelming tank quite a lot to be able to train your crew up. Maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe when the Japanese tanks get released, maybe you want to have a 4-skill crew and be the best Japanese tanker of all time. And if that's you, then you're probably quite a skilled player, and you're probably going to be able to make the Chinukai work. So if we remember back to the 8.0 patch, 7.x, I can't remember if it was 7.6 or 7.7, which was the last one before the 8.0 patch, which is when the British were released. They released the god-awful Matilda Black Prince, which was the tier 5 British medium tank, and it was the first British tank in the game. I purchased one and it was slow as hell. The only redeeming thing about that tank was the fact that it had a fairly good gun. Its turret armor was garbage, and the fact that for some reason it seemed to have the whole of the side of its tank was spaced, so you basically just went, please shoot the side of my tank, this is effective tanking. But I would be on the side of the skeptics. I literally haven't played that tank once since 8.0 was released. It's a pile of garbage, and I hated it. It was so slow and so awful. Now the Chinukai is nothing like the Matilda Black Prince. It is actually justifiable as a tank in itself, and I think it's completely playable. So although the skeptics among you will be saying, oh, this Chinukai is just to sell some gold and to force people to buy it if they want to play Japanese tanks early, I'm going to go with the optimist. I think this is a really cool tank that you can pick up and feel unique for at least a few months. And even when the Japanese tanks are released, you've got a tank to train your crew up with if you want to play at tier 5. Anyway guys, I hope this review has been useful to you. If it has, please consider rating the video down below. I'd really appreciate it. And tell me what you think about the Chinukai. Are you a skeptic, are you an optimist, or are you a pessimist? Do you think that this is just to sell some gold and to get people to play this, at least not as crappy as the Matilda Black Prince tank? Or are you an optimist who thinks this is a really cool thing, and you can't wait to pick one up and feel unique with the Japanese voice acting, and you're going to put camouflage and emblems on it and go around and be super cool? As always, thank you so much for watching. Think about checking out some of my other 8.9 videos. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.